Presented by Horns and Hooves Entertainment. You're watching Bob Hansen, Tom Uchek, Sean O'Malley, Adam Fitzgerald, and Andy Van Meer. You still up? Live. It's Buffalo After Dark.
Welcome to Buffalo After Dark, everybody. It is Wednesday night, May 26th. It's almost Memorial Day weekend. Bobby, how you doing?
America.
Yes. And, of course, the Islanders are in the promised land right now.
Yep, and Andy is here. He has risen from the dead.
He's actually somewhat awake, barely. Andy, how's it going?
I'm fighting to stay awake.
You okay?
A long day at work.
Same here, buddy.
Hey, it could be like that one episode where I kind of fell asleep during the show and Ryan was trying to wake me up once. I think it was like episode 7.
Yeah, that was like a year ago when we did that episode.
Almost a year.
Oh, God.
I know. Here we are at episode 42, and we haven't been thrown off of YouTube or Facebook yet.
Yeah, really. That's embarrassing. It's actually pretty cool. I will be honest about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a good time, too. I mean, hey, where else would you rather be on a Wednesday night, you know? So fun times ahead. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff in the sports world today. Of course, one of the big things we want to talk about is Julio Jones and where is Julio Jones going to land. We're going to talk a little bit about the Sabres. Some news this week about the potential of either stadium renovations or new stadium and arena upgrades as well from Pagula Sports Entertainment. So we'll touch a little bit on that. But more importantly, let's get you on the show. So if you want to join on, feel free. Call us and we'll talk to you. You can join us 929-205-6099. Use meeting ID 827-2321-2731. Passcode 424940. That's all in the chat.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, this whole week in general has just been crazy with trade rumors and then, you know, stadium renovations, plans, stuff like that. And then, of course, recently with Julio and then Russell Wilson being brought up and then Wayne Gretzky joining TNT finally. So it's all good shit as far as what we're concerned about as far as what's coming out.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun week, you know, and of course our buddy Sean from Atlanta is going to be joining us now too. So, you know, we'll welcome him into the fun and festivities. Our resident Boston Bruins fan, Katie Trance, in the chat, and she basically said, she's saying go Bills or something. And then she said, this week for me has been awesome sports-wise. Well, yeah, the Boston Bruins ended up destroying the Caps. So
here comes your daddy.
Good stuff. Katie, call in. Let's talk about it. We want to talk Boston hockey a little bit. So give us a call. Sean, how's it going, buddy?
Nothing much. Just got out of work. How you boys doing?
Hey, doing good. Doing good. It'll be a long weekend, finally. And my driveway finally got fixed after that pipe burst during the winter. So I'm like, thank God for that. They put new blacktop down this morning.
I don't know what's crazier.
That's good.
That's cool. I don't know what's crazier, having Sean Moore on the show than he does YouTube channels.
Hey, it's all good. Hey, I love having him on here.
I do too. I love the guy.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, you know. Yeah, damn straight.
Yeah. And Bobby,
I mean, what can I say? You know.
It's like, pick a topic.
Right. Well, fun thing is now up in my neck of the woods, you might have sent me that nasty weather because I'm getting a nice little rainstorm out now. So
yeah, I'm in the middle of a storm. I'm in the middle of one, so
yeah, I got one here too. It's coming down pretty good actually. So
damn
it's
straight.
all right. At least the blacktop was done this morning, so I don't have to worry about that now. Hey, Katie, I know you say you like chatting, but you hate the way your voice sounds. Who cares how your voice sounds? Jump on.
Yeah, nobody cares. Let's talk sports. Let's go.
Exactly. Exactly.
Before I fall asleep.
All right.
So let's kick it off.
Oh, these hockey games are intense. I love it.
I know. Actually, Pittsburgh on the power play now too.
Fuck Pittsburgh.
Oh, I can't wait till the Isles win. I can shove it down my cousin's face.
Nice.
Well, I'm also an Islander fan, so I'm wearing my jersey with pride. So there you go. So anybody who questions it, fine with me. But I'm Long Island native. I'm supporting my hometown team. So there you have it.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, Katie, if you want, jump on. And she asks, please can I stick to chat? I feel more comfortable texting. I mean, that's fine. I mean, you can always jump on and talk to us in person though if you want. So, that's up to you.
Yeah, so Julio Jones' name is being thrown around lately, and Shannon Sharp decided to embarrass the shit out of him on First Take on ESPN this past week. He gets on the phone with his buddy Julio and says, hey, Julio, we don't want to give it away or anything, but you're not like on live on TV or anything, but what's your status on the Atlanta Falcons? And he's like, yeah, I'm out of there, man. I'm gone. So now with him saying that, it's pretty obvious at this point that Julio Jones is going to get traded. But the question is, which team is going to acquire him? Which team is going to trade assets to get him? Because there are pros and there are cons about getting Julio at this point.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you one I can tell you one big pro. Him and Stephon Diggs teaming up.
You know what's funny? Because
I love that.
Yeah,
Where in the world is Julio Jones?
Yeah, it's funny because Stephen A. Smith said the same exact thing. He's like, if there was a team for Julio out there that's determined to win, it's Buffalo. And I said, you know what? As much as I love this idea, he's too old and he's injury prone and he's got 1 year on his contract left to go. So is it really worth trading for Julio Jones, as good as he is when he's healthy?
Good point.
Big point. And then on top of that, the salary cap came out today.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh boy.
Salary cap, and it's $188.4 million for the Bills.
Yeah, so to give you an idea of what this report is, so Dan Graziano, I think I said his name correctly, he said that the NFL and the NFLPA have agreed to a salary cap ceiling of $208.2 million for next season in 2022. And if it gets there, that would be a 14% increase over the 2021 cap, which was at $182.5 million. So if we're talking math here, and Field Yates brought this up too. He says all teams are looking for as much cap as possible, including those already on the books. 6 teams already have a cap confidence of north of $200 million for 2022. And ranking at number 6 is the Buffalo Bills at $201 million.
Oh, geez.
Yep. And then the Giants at 202, the Saints at 208, the Rams at 212, the Cowboys at 228, and the Packers at 237.
Oh my God, 237.
237.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Jesus.
It's a lot of money.
It's like,
yeah.
What was that,
Yeah,
like
it
another
is.
60
Wow.
million?
Like that. And on top of that, keep that in mind too, next Tuesday is June 1st. So June 1st is the date where players could get cut. So there are veterans who could end up getting cut by any of the teams. You could see star players leaving, you could see trades, but one name I wouldn't be surprised that ended up getting cut would be Mario Addison, and it saves the Bills around nearly $6 million and by just cutting him within 1 year of his contract left to go, or 2 years or whatever it was. So if they wait till next Tuesday, which chances are very high, Addison could get cut, and that would increase the Bills cap for next year as well, considering the fact that they have players that they got to move and they got to make up the money for Josh Allen. They got to make up the money for Tremaine Edmonds. And then with the cap going up, that's creating more plausibilities right there for Buffalo. They're increasing, and they always tell me, oh, they're in cap hell. They're in cap hell. And I'm just sitting there thinking they're not in cap hell because Brandon Beane is thinking long term. He's not thinking like Miami. He's not thinking like Dallas. He's not thinking like any of these other big main markets. And they just go out and spend money and they go nowhere with it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Beane knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And Beane actually reminds me a lot of what the Patriots do, especially Robert Kraft, because when you look at what the Patriots do and how they go with a lot of like under the radar players. I mean, except for Tom Brady, which we all know what happened to. But I mean, when you go with the players that they do, it's kind of, you can see there's a similar track that the Bills are taking, where basically you're getting some of the unknown talent or like diamond in the rough talent, and you're bringing them up in an established system where all of them have a specific role and they can play to that specific role. And a lot of it, if you notice, like what happened this past season and the last couple seasons, I mean, we can literally plug and play players wherever we need to. I mean, we have some great talent now, but literally we could go with lower end players, still get max production out of them, sign them for less money. That's exactly what the Patriots have done in a lot of cases, and it's worked for them. And it's actually working for us. I mean, with the fact that, well, A, we kicked New England's ass all year, but B, at the same time, I mean, we got to that AFC title game.
Without a doubt. And they're only going to get better from here.
Yeah, especially. And now that, I mean, Diggs really wants to unleash himself, by all means, I mean, he's just going to have another breakout year. I could totally see that happening. Now
without a doubt.
Especially now he's got help on the line on top of that. So like, if you thought the line was good last year, it's going to be even better this year.
Without a doubt.
Yep.
And yeah, what were you going to say, Sean? I'm sorry.
No, I was agreeing with Tom.
Of course. And then now the question is, and I want you guys to opinion on this. Is it worth it for the Bills to trade future assets for a veteran like Julio Jones? Yes or no? I'll go first with Andy.
What's that? I'm sorry. You broke up.
What I said was, would you trade assets, whether it's this year or next year, for Julio Jones?
Nah, I'd be more. If anything, I'd give him a 1-year deal.
Yeah, because I think he's a UFA at the end of the year.
Yeah, I'd give him a 1-year deal, just like they did with Emmanuel Sanders. If anything, even though it's not really a need, but to make things fun and interesting, why not?
Yep.
I mean, it gives Allen extra weapons.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
I mean, he's got enough weapons already, but why not add more?
Right.
But here's another argument we can make for Julio Jones. How many years was he in Atlanta getting his ass handed to him because they had no help on the line?
Well, it's not Julio's fault.
Right.
Because his job is to run the routes, catch the football, and go to the end zone. That's his primary job.
Exactly.
Yep.
But then a lot of times, Atlanta just hasn't had a lot of the tools to support that. And that's like one of the arguments I could always make about that. So, I mean, yeah, the thing that sucks, yeah, he's been injury prone, but I think part of it is that Atlanta really hasn't built around it either.
No, I don't think so either. But as far as like what teams could be looking into it, what do you guys think Julio would end up? Because I'm not trying to be biased, and I don't think it is biased either way. I don't see the Bills getting Julio. I don't even think they can afford it, especially with them trying to sign Josh Allen and Tremaine Edmonds, like I mentioned a few minutes ago.
Right. I'd rather sign them too, and we can always look in free agency somewhere else, or even go into like a second or third tier player. If I had to guess for Julio Jones, don't be surprised if Miami tries to make a run, because they're trying to do the win now mentality, which, I mean, I get it. I mean, but I wouldn't be surprised about that. I could see West Coast. Now I haven't looked at the cap numbers, but the Rams could possibly make it go at it. I could see the 49ers possibly trying to go for it. Don't be surprised if the Cowboys are in it.
No, and it's funny you said that, because there was actually a picture that merged up. A fan got a picture with Julio Jones, and Julio was saying the other day he was wearing a Dallas Cowboys hoodie, and on ESPN he said, I have no intentions to go to the Dallas Cowboys at all. I don't want to play in Dallas.
Yeah. I remember seeing that. Just I think yesterday or 2 days ago, something like that.
Yeah. So see, I'm not alone.
Right. So yeah, honestly, in my opinion, I could see him going to the West Coast, either with the 49ers or, hey, maybe the Raiders. Who knows?
Maybe the Raiders. I've seen the Raiders. What about you, Andy?
Oh, man.
Nap, Andy?
No, I'm not napping. Not yet. I'm not. I'm still here. Still alive.
All right, that's good.
Oh, well, when it comes to, I've seen there's quite a few nice little free agents out there. I'm just hoping, from what I read, it'd be kind of nice if they go after Zach Ertz and get some defensive linemen.
Who, the Niners?
Yeah, them too. I mean, they could use another tight end. Another 2 tight end set.
But why would you need Zach Ertz if you already have George Kittle?
Why not?
That's a good point. Speaking of Ertz, I actually want to bring him up in a little bit. But Julio, though, I mean, if you're asking me, I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens, the Patriots, or the Titans were recruiting Julio Jones. A.J. Brown, holy crap. Has anybody been paying attention to what he's been doing lately? A.J. Brown?
Trying to recruit Julio?
Bingo. And now he's just like, Julio! And he's going on TikTok trying to recruit Julio. It's like, Julio, come to the Titans. Just waive your no trade clause. Go to Tennessee, man. Play with my guy, Derrick Henry. Play with Ryan Tannehill. Play with me, and we'll be a great team together. That's basically what A.J. Brown is doing. It's like, hey, and even if you come to Tennessee, I'll even give you my number 11 jersey.
Right, and he's not shy about it either. I mean, he's been on TikTok and a lot of the sites. He's just been going hardcore trying to get him.
Well, I mean, it's not all that bad. I mean, I don't mind recruiting as long as it does lead into legal tampering issues. Because sometimes when players recruit people, whether it's through free agency or by trade, usually they usually sometimes go through, legal troubles with tampering. Because I know the Lakers, I read this a few years ago, that the Lakers were having this issue with tampering players. And they were like trying to leak out information about players that they wanted to trade for. Not that I know anything about the NBA, but I remember reading an article about the Lakers a couple of years ago. And I think like 4 years ago, the Canucks were on the same, Vancouver Canucks were on the same thing. They were like, we want to get PK Subban, we want to get Steven Stamkos. But by NHL rules, you were not allowed to say the players that you wanted to get. That was tampering. So let's hope for his sake and for the Titans' sake, they don't get fined for it.
Yeah, or lose draft picks. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it would make the Titans a little bit better, a little bit more competitive. But Baltimore, I don't think would be shy of it either. I know Lamar Jackson has been working out to get Julio to come to to Baltimore. I know that. New England, I read that Julio Jones wants to play with Cam Newton. And I'm just sitting there thinking, why would you want to play with Cam Newton? He's just as washed up as Julio.
Yeah, if not more.
I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. And I would think it like between those two teams, New England and Baltimore, I think would be the much better fit for Julio Jones, honestly, because of the offense that they run. I mean, Lamar Jackson, running quarterback just like Newton is in a lot of ways. But the thing is that Baltimore has a lot more weapons they can go to right off the bat. They're a younger team overall. And Julio Jones, I think, could be a nice compliment, especially coming in at that wide receiver position. We saw what happened with Lamar Jackson. He got exposed by the Bills this season.
Yep.
We destroyed him in that offense.
Oh, man.
Well, plus him getting his bell rung and knocked out for the game didn't help either. But
I was just going to mention that.
Yeah, but the part of the game he was in,
man.
He basically destroyed him before he got that concussion.
Yeah, I remember that game, and I'm just thinking, I was really nervous at the time when that game was being played because I really thought that the Bills, as good as they were on paper, I really thought that they were going to lose to Baltimore. Because everybody in the media and the fans, they hype up the Ravens into this Super Bowl juggernaut. It's like they haven't done shit since they had Joe Flacco. So it's like, what do you really expect that from Baltimore?
Yeah, and then we saw what happened. They manhandled that offense.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And while we're on the topic of trades, because of Julio's name being brought up on trade rumors, and then he's likely on his way out of Atlanta before camp, there's another player that could be on his way out before camp, and it's Russell Wilson. Would you imagine that?
I did read a little bit about that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So
because I remember reading that the Seahawks wasn't gonna. Oh shoot! What was it again? They weren't going to. It was just in my thought and I forgot.
Yeah, I got
talking about his contract extension. Yeah, they weren't going to. Okay.
Yeah, I got it right here. So to answer your question, this is from Albert Breer on NFL Network. He says Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson is likely on his last contract with the Seahawks, and it is possible that they will sign him to either a long-term deal, but will consider drafting a quarterback in the coming years. Didn't he just get an extension like 2 years ago?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Am I the only one am I the only one who thinks NFL quarterbacks are very selfish when it comes to contracts?
Well, look what happened with Joe Flacco after he won that Super Bowl and he got a contract extension he sure as hell didn't deserve. He was super
Right.
overrated.
Right. And on top of that, players like Aaron Rodgers doesn't even want to stay on the Packers. And the Packers even said to him, look, we'll give you a nice, handsome contract. And he's like, I don't want a damn contract. I want to go somewhere else. You've pissed me off already. I want to go somewhere I can win a championship. And the Broncos have been being brought up as a possible team to trade Aaron Rodgers to. But we'll see. But Russell Wilson's a very interesting player because it's like he's a future Hall of Famer. But then again, Seahawks fans want to keep him there as long as possible. But then they want to sign him, but they're willing to draft another quarterback down the road. It's kind of like what's going on now with the Packers. You want to keep Aaron Rodgers, but you drafted a quarterback a year ago.
Right. And then you blink, and then you get Blake Bortles on top of it.
Oh, my God, I remember that.
Which then, of course, Aaron Rodgers was saying either you get rid of him or I go.
Well, I don't know if they'll get rid of Jordan Love. I mean, I'm just being honest. I don't think they're going to get rid of him. And considering the fact that the Packers did trade up a few years ago, or just a year ago to trade up and get him, they traded a handload of assets to Miami just for that spot.
Right. And Aaron Rodgers has to know, it's like, hey, Aaron Rodgers, you're not going to play in the NFL forever. Just ask Brett Favre.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
He came back and he got this. It's like his comeback in Minnesota wasn't too bad, but I mean, he finally came to the realization that the team around him wasn't going to do anything.
Right. So it's all interesting stuff for what it's worth. And then Brian Barnwell of ESPN, he made a bold prediction, and one of those bold predictions was Julio Jones to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he also mentions that there's a possibility post June 1st that the Buffalo Bills could end up trading for Zach Ertz. And his proposal was Tommy Sweeney and a 2022 7th-round pick to Philadelphia for Ertz.
Okay.
Do it.
I'm surprised Ertz didn't get picked up already.
Well,
Sweeney in the 7th is actually not bad in return.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, what purpose
on that end? We're making out on that end.
Yeah, at what purpose does Sweeney have on the team?
Right. I have yet to see it.
Nothing.
I think we've only seen one season of him, but I thought he looked pretty good in the one season he was in. But I mean, we're talking Zach Ertz. That's fine with me. I mean, I'll sacrifice that for Zach Ertz.
Right, exactly. And 7th-round picks, I mean, usually it's just like fill in depth, practice squad. I mean, you're not
peanuts.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 7th round, you ain't gonna do much with. I mean, so throwing that out there and throwing Sweeney in there, I mean, I think Bills win that trade every day.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. And then the Julio Jones to Jacksonville story has been going around, according to Mr. Barnwell himself, the guy who I just said was being predicted about Ertz going to the Bills post June 1st. So I'm thinking to myself, what exactly is going to happen? Because, Julio Jones is going to be a hot topic for a couple of weeks leading up to camp. So, I mean, there's OTAs, there's optional OTAs, and then there's training camp, and then all that kind of crap. So it's like, what do you do at this point? I mean, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to pump up the fans. I mean, the price tag that the Falcons are going to want, and it was reported, is if they trade him to New England, there's a possibility that the Falcons could possibly get a 2nd-round pick. But there were other people across the league who said the Falcons want a 1st-round pick for Julio. I'm like, you're out of your freaking mind if you're going out and getting a 1st-round pick for washed-up Julio Jones.
He's not even worth a 1st-round pick anymore. Like, I could see it in his prime, but he's not now.
No, if this was 5-6 years ago, then I'd say, yeah, try it, go for it. But
not even
Julio
3 years ago.
What?
Not even 3 years ago.
Yeah, at this point, the price tag, I guess you could say, is the best. It would probably be a 2nd and a 3rd. That's the final take I would give in that scenario for Julio Jones, in my opinion. So,
yeah, that would make a lot more sense.
Totally. And so we already know about the whole Alex Rodriguez thing. He bought the Minnesota Timberwolves not too long ago, and he'll be the owner next fall. But there's another celebrity that could be on the rise to own a football team soon, and it's none other than Jay-Z. Yeah, not bad.
Boy.
What?
Yep, this came out today. So Jay-Z is reportedly is divesting assets to position himself for a potential purchase of stake of the Washington No Names ownership. And this is according to the Burgundy blog on Twitter, incorporated by multiple other sources.
Wow.
I was gonna say, doesn't he have a stake in the Brooklyn Nets or something?
I think he's the majority owner. I think he's the minority owner of the Brooklyn Nets. I know he was heavily involved with the Brooklyn Nets when they first came to the NBA from New Jersey to Brooklyn. I remember reading that. And I know Jay-Z is at almost every game. His wife Beyonce is there too. So he's always sitting courtside seats at Nets games, kind of like Spike Lee with the Knicks. But yeah.
Yep.
And I was going to say, and I think Jay-Z, if I remember correctly, had a stake in the Barclays Center too when they were building that and operating it now.
Well, one thing I don't understand is if you're a multi-billionaire and you're the minority owner of the Brooklyn Nets, why do you want Washington?
Yeah, really.
Good question.
I don't get what would be his role though as far as the owner?
Right.
Well,
Speaking of basketball, real-time score with 2:50 left. The Knicks are losing to Atlanta 50-41, and Atlanta's up 1-0 in the series.
Oh, come on.
What are you, a Knicks fan, Sean?
Yeah, I've always been a Knicks fan. I mean, I haven't watched the NBA in years, but yeah, I've always been a Knicks fan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, although I really wanted to see Phoenix win last night too, and they actually lost in the fourth quarter to LA.
Oh man!
And Crowder was playing great too. I mean, he was just nailing long threes, and I'm like, and Crowder and Phoenix, they played great. It's just the fourth quarter they just let up. I'm like, oh come on.
Yeah, I mean, I would have never have guessed that that people in New York would be this much invested with the Knicks. I mean, they deserve to be happy, but it's like the Knicks haven't been good in a long time, and this year they finally become good for some reason.
10 years they've had no playoff team. Phil Jackson destroyed that organization.
Yeah. I mean, talking to me in NBA terms is like trying to figure out advanced calculus. So I wouldn't have any idea what's going on, who's this, who's that. I mean, I know LeBron James, I know Michael Jordan, I know Kobe.
Yeah, but speaking of him, how about that flop from game one?
Oh my God, that was one of the worst flops I've ever seen. And good job to LeBron for faking that foul and then basically start a fight on the court.
You cannot make this stuff up. Gosh.
He was pulling what Sean Avery would do for the Rangers. Like the way that he fell backwards on the court. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh man.
I like to call him the bum. It is what it is.
Yeah, hashtag LaFlop. But I was like, I mean, at least Phoenix won game one. But I'm like, when I was watching last night, I'm like, oh, come on, Phoenix. Why'd you blow it?
Right.
Phoenix won the series, honestly. But I will say, I mean, the Milwaukee series is interesting with how Giannis is playing. I mean, he's looking really good. And then the other thing I would say, the Brooklyn Nets series, that's been pretty good. I mean, the teams are pretty evenly matched up this year. I'm really happy to say that. But the two things that helped the Knicks, though, A, they fired Phil Jackson a long time ago. B, they finally got a good coach in Tom Thibodeau who was able to change everything around, and they have a great defense right now.
Damn straight. And speaking of the NBA, did you guys hear what's been going on lately with NBA on TNT?
No, what's going on?
Haven't seen too much.
Well, supposedly Wayne Gretzky has stepped down as his executive role as the vice chairman of the Edmonton Oilers, and he has agreed to a $3 million contract with TNT.
Interesting.
What?
Yeah, so he's going to be joining a handful of people next year, and that's going to be including Darren Pang and Keith Jones are moving in from NBCSN because the contract for the NHL on NBCSN ends this year after the playoffs, and then all of the rights and stuff will go to ESPN and TNT for the NHL, and the NBA will downgrade because, their ratings are going to shit. So, so Wayne Gretzky. Yeah, so Wayne Gretzky finally accepted a deal with TNT this past weekend, and he's going to be an analyst on there with all his other buddies. And the guy who recruited him, guess who it was that recruited him to say, come over to TNT, and if you do, I'll join you. Guess who it was?
It's a good question. I know it's not Ernie Johnson because Ernie Johnson is like the godfather of that inside the NBA.
No, not Ernie. I'll give you a hint. He's a hockey fan himself.
I legit have no clue.
Any ideas, Andy?
No clue.
All right, here's your answer. Charles Barkley.
What?
Really?
Yeah, Charles Barkley told Wayne Gretzky, listen, if you leave your executive position with the Oilers, I will recruit you to come join us on TNT, and I will stay. I will leave the NBA, and I will stay on TNT. And apparently, Charles Barkley is an Arizona Coyotes fan.
Wow. Now, I will say this about Charles Barkley. Whether you love him or hate him, I love how brutally honest he is when he's on that show.
Yes.
He pulls
Why can't we have more guys like him?
I know. He pulls no punches. He says it like it is, and he doesn't care if it offends anybody. I love that.
I don't mind Charles
Me
Barkley.
too. Holy crap, man.
Yeah, isn't that awesome that a basketball guy, a basketball legend, basically told him, come over to TNT and you'll get that spotlight. Wayne Gretzky himself will be getting people, especially newcomers into the sport, and those who watch games on TNT, that's going to go through the roof, and it's going to make a lot of money. I guarantee
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
TNT does very good on the basketball ratings. I mean, they've always had a solid show with everything. I mean, they have good commentators. They have a good pre-show, good post-game show. I mean, they really dive deep in everything. They have some great segments. And when you look at that when you look at that NBA or inside the NBA lineup, how they have Barkley, you have Shaq, you have Kenny the Jet, you've got Ernie Johnson right there. I mean, we've got a really solid lineup of people that totally have different opinions and are not afraid to say it.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's awesome that the NHL is being picked up by TNT because that's a very popular channel in America for sports, specifically for the NBA. And now the viewers of the NBA are not going to get the same coverage that they used to have or they've been used to for many, many years now. So now they're going to be stuck having to watch NHL games, which I love it because I think that the NHL deserves the credibility that they deserve. And on top of that, they're going to be on ESPN next year. So they're getting double the coverage. They're getting double the views. They're getting double of the venues. They're going to get double of the money. So, and on top of all that, so you have the TNT scheduling. You have Wayne Gretzky go on that program. You have the Islanders moving into UBS Arena next year, and you have the Seattle fucking Kraken coming in. And I'm just waiting for the freaking expansion draft so that we can have an expansion draft special with you, me, Sean, and all these people, and we can watch it together and see if we'd be like, I like that guy. Let's see what he does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to teach me. Yeah, you're gonna have to teach me a lot of hockey, man, because I'm still a freaking noob when it comes to that.
Well, I have something to tell you.
I'm listening.
Okay, so remember that Seattle Kraken shirt I sent you? I think it was last September.
Yeah.
Well, I have something to confess, and Tom is the only person that I told this to. He knows, and I'm telling everybody right now. You're gonna be very happy what I'm about to tell you, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm hyping this up. Shut the fuck up." Anyway, all right. Damn it! You made me lose track. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you. So Tom knows about it, and it's coming to your house in August.
Okay, what's coming?
I bought you a Seattle Kraken jersey.
What?
No joke.
What, bro? What are you doing?
I'm trying to be a good person.
I got it, man.
Nice color jersey, I'll tell you that.
But geez, man, how much you have to pay for that?
$60.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, don't give me anything.
Okay, whatever you say. Whatever you say, man. Wow.
Like this behind your back.
Well, the bromance is alive and
Hey,
well.
and we can all say one thing: we got a lot of brotherly love on this show.
Yes, we do.
Wow.
I love how Sean's like, holy fuck, why did you do that?
Like, cause I was thinking you spent like who knows how much money on a freaking jersey, man. Like, come on.
No, honestly, it didn't cost me much at all. I had to get it off the black market, and sure enough, I got a $60
Right.
Seattle Kraken jersey for you.
I know.
Wow.
Well, Bobby, my birthday comes up in August, just so you know.
Yeah, but you can buy your own shit.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Brotherly
Oh,
love,
you
huh?
two got
Buy
burned.
your own shit.
Yeah.
Brotherly love at its finest.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just to give you an idea of what this is, I got you a XXL jersey. So that means it's double the size. It's the Chinese knockoff jersey, but you could see it. I got you the navy blue Seattle Kraken jersey.
Nice. Nice, man.
Hey.
Hey, I really appreciate it, bro. For real.
Of course, but here's what I would have done, and I didn't have the cash for it because I was trying to be a good person. I was going to do something beyond crazy, but I didn't know what the process was going to be like. But there was an option for it on eBay, but it was costing a lot more money. What I was going to originally do to really hype you up was this. Not only was I going to get you a Seattle Kraken jersey, which confirmed already I have it done for you, I was going to customize the jersey, and it's going to say Mr. BubbaMatt on the back of the jersey.
Oh.
Wow. Hey, you know what? It don't even matter to me, man. I still appreciate what you did. For real.
Awesome.
Yeah, not a problem.
Wow.
So, yeah, so you have a shirt, you have a hat, and now you have a jersey on the way.
Nice.
There you go.
My birthday's still in August, Bobby.
Yeah, damn straight.
Yeah, mine comes up in July.
Yeah, see, you got others to think of here, guy.
Yeah, damn straight. So there you have it, Sean.
Well,
Oh,
I
okay,
know when the
sweep
time
it
comes.
under the
Wow.
rug.
Yeah. Well, I know when the time comes and I'm able to get down to UBS, I know Bobby will hook me up with those tickets down there. So.
Damn straight. I was also tempted.
Plus, he hooked
I
me
was
up
also
with a good hotel too. So I know he took care of that and saved me about $150 a night. So that was good.
Yeah, so anytime I send Sean anything related to the Seattle Kraken, it's to hype him up for the team next year. Because he did say to me at one point, it's like, hey, because I remember asking him this video, and that son of a bitch ended up deleting the video. And one time when I bought him the shirt, he said, and I quote, that I'm not much into hockey, but my friend Buffalo Bob ended up buying me a shirt, and it worked. And I said, yes, it worked. So now I can actually move forward and actually pump the damn guy up. So I said right there and there, when he said those words, I said, I've done something and I can definitely accomplish it. Because I've done it to multiple people. So Sean would be my next victim to get into the fanhood of hockey, into this wonderful sport of hockey. Considering it's going to be very, very popular in the fall next year in the United States with TNT and ESPN. And plus, like I said,
Well,
you what?
I mean, I'm definitely hyped now. Thanks. So.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh man.
Hey, we love you, man. You know that. So. It's
Yeah,
all
I
good.
know. I know.
It's all good.
Yeah.
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 For real.
Yeah. So before we get into the next step and before we talk about the bromance a little bit more, if you want to jump on, call us 929-205-6099. Come on, guys. Let's get someone calling in. We haven't had that in like 2 months.
Wait, did I say it was a 2XL?
You said 3.
Okay, I just want to be sure. Yeah, it's a 3XL, so I wanted to be sure. So the estimate date for your jersey to come is from June 9th to August 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, so I assume you have the hat and the shirt from last summer?
Well, I got the shirt.
Yeah, I thought Sean was lagging for a second. That's why I was waiting on him.
Yeah, he is frozen.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, so you said you have the shirt, but what about the hat?
I think I still have the hat. You know what? Let me check real quick.
Yeah, because your video is frozen, so that's why we're asking if you're okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I opened my internet browser for some reason. Yeah, I still got the hat.
Awesome. Do you
Cool.
ever wear it, or
My head's too big for it.
your head's too big for it? Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. So
Oh,
the hat's
man. Just
so
like
they
me.
had. Oh.
Yeah, and plus it's a snapback too. But I tried it at the. Well, let me show you. I tried it at the highest one. See? Here, let me real quick.
Yeah, just to give you a heads up, I visually can't see you. It's just your head and your
It freaking
shoulders.
snapped as soon as I tried to put it on.
Mm.
Yeah, but I'm still keeping it though.
Of course, you should.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm pro-
And I know Annie is over there like really bitter because I didn't do anything for him like that.
I'm fine.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
Now I will say this, and Sean, you're not the only one he's hooked up because I will full disclosure. Bobby did hook me up with those really sweet tickets at the barn when we ended up going 2 years ago, and we were 4 rows up from the ice, right behind Jack Eichel, slamming his stick in the bench, and the good old. And then, of course, on top of that, we had the Fire Phil Housley sign confiscated after the first.
I mean, what have I not done for anybody thus far? I mean, I
Right.
got freaking Islander tickets for Tom. I
Yeah.
bought Adam a freaking Panthers hat and a bunch of other shit. And now I just bought Sean a freaking Seattle Kraken jersey.
Right. Yep. And I got a tour of Long Island from him, and we spent time in New York City, so we got to
Yeah,
hang
for
out
sure.
and do that, which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I've never even been to Long Island.
you should. And you know what, too?
I want to. But here's the thing. I grew up in Brooklyn, and for all those years, not once have I even been to Long Island. I'm like, how is that possible?
Right.
Well, I could certainly tell you, living in Long Island is much, much better than living in New York City right now.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And,
Well, yeah, I will say this though. Brooklyn is still on my short list of one of those places I would like to visit, at least, go through it once. But one of the things I can think of is, coming back to New York City again. I mean, I absolutely loved it down there. And I will say, Bobby did show me a lot of good places there. I mean, spent time in Times Square, all that stuff. But one of the things I would love to do is, well, besides go to UBS when that opens up, and you know what? I just thought of something here. We should have you come up to Long Island, Sean. We should have you do that. And what we should do is get it like a day together where basically we all come in and let's do Islanders versus the Kraken.
I'd do that.
Oh,
And let's make it like
Shoot.
a 3-day weekend down there. And
shoot,
basically
let's
when
make
the
it happen.
Kraken comes in. I'll fly in the JFK. We're all driving because I'm only like 7 hours out. I mean, or I can fly in the JFK and it's only a 45-minute flight for me. And that's what I did last time when I went to Long Island. I flew in and picked up a car. Flew in the Terminal 5 JFK, took the air train 15 minutes to the car rental, and I drove an SUV out to Long Island. So
Yeah, Sean just dropped out for a little bit.
yeah, I see that. But
Yeah, he'll be back in a bit.
yeah,
But now he's really ecstatic about that Kraken jersey.
yeah, definitely. I can just
Like,
picture
fuck
him
yeah, I
bringing
actually-
his first Kraken game on the island.
Yep. Yeah, it's unbelievable, really. And you know what? It makes me feel good as a person that I'm able to at least do that in the process because I was gonna bring up something else about the Kraken, but he just dropped out for a little bit, so he'll be back. I know he will.
Yeah.
But in the process, though, in the meantime, while we're waiting for Sean to get back, what was I going to say? So there's a brand new ECHL team now, an expansion team, if you will. They're calling themselves the Iowa Heartlanders.
Interesting. Now, anyone who hasn't followed the ECHL, I mean, it's basically a step below the AHL. But don't get me wrong, you can get some really good hockey in there. There's some pretty nice up-and-coming talent.
Yeah, without a doubt. So the Iowa Heartlanders, you can look this up. If you want to if you can, actually, can you pull up the screen and with the logo and all that? Unless you want me to send it to you.
Yeah,
Unless you want me to just
actually,
directly send it to you.
Yeah, let me put that up here.
Yeah, let me send it to you in the chat so you can make it easier. Or you can just type up the team name. So what you're looking for is the ECHL team called the Iowa Heartlanders, and their primary logo is in the shape of a deer, like a buck. And then you have
Yep.
the secondary logo is a flower.
Okay. Yep, I found it. So anyone who's watching the show live, you're about to see. Yeah, that looks like the Milwaukee Bucks logo. Now I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it looks similar. I mean, I've seen the logo for the Milwaukee Bucks, but it's very intimidating.
You're the
look.
deer.
Yep, there it is. The Iowa Heartlanders. That's their primary logo, and then their secondary. I don't know if it's there, but on that website, whatever you're using, it's in the shape of a pink flower. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
Let's see if it'll come back on here. Yeah, I'm not seeing it on here.
Yep,
Oh.
there's Sean.
Okay, I don't know what just happened. Like,
Well, yeah. So I see the Seattle. Can you show the Kraken hat again? Because when you were showing it, your camera was frozen.
Nice.
yeah, right here.
There it is. Seattle Kraken. Damn straight.
Yep.
Yeah. So anything I send you, Sean, regarding the team going forward, it just basically means I'm trying to hype you up.
Oh,
Well,
I found the other logo.
Well, shoot, I'm hyped up as up. Well, I'm freaking hyped up enough as it is, and as soon as that jersey comes in, oh man,
Yep, that's gonna be your new boy toy.
I really appreciate it though.
Of course, my pleasure. My freaking pleasure.
All right,
So
guys.
yeah,
There we
All
are.
right.
there it is. There's the logo, the Iowa Heartlanders. So the primary logo is a deer. The secondary logo is a flower, and there's the word mark, the Iowa Heartlanders. So to give you an idea what these boys are, they're going to be playing in 2021, 2022 as an expansion team with a club in Troyes Riviera's Quebec by the ECHL back in January, which is coming up in January. And the club will be based in Coralville, Iowa, and play out of the newly built Extreme Arena, which is the capacity of 5,100 people.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, Andy, what do you think of the Iowa Heartlanders?
Ugly.
You don't like it?
Nope. Not a fan.
Okay. What about you, Tom?
I don't
I
mind it.
mean,
I mean,
it's all good with me. I like the deer logo, honestly.
yeah.
I mean,
I have
pretty
no
good.
issue with it.
There's nothing intimidating by that logo or fierce or nothing. Just a goddamn buck.
What did you want? Your tiny balls as the primary logo?
I don't know. I mean, what the hell are you gonna put for a logo with the name Heartlanders?
I don't know. I mean,
The name in itself is ridiculous.
well, your balls would be the
Heartlander?
first primary logo.
Jesus Christ, man. Shut up, Bobby. I'll kick you in the nuts.
I am too much now, aren't I? That's funny. So in the process of Sean's emotional reveal about the Kraken jersey, speaking of the Seattle Kraken, supposedly either today or tomorrow, they're going to be, and they're expected to interview former Coyotes head coach Rick Tocchet for the head coaching position. Yep.
I don't
And
know what I
another-
think about that.
Yeah, I'm interested. And then another coach that's being brought up is former Minnesota Wild head coach Bruce Boudreau and current Florida Panthers head coach Joel Quenneville. If the Panthers get eliminated early in the first round by Tampa Bay, there's a possibility that Coach Q could leave Florida and head out west to Seattle if he's interested in the job.
Well, he
Yeah,
turned the
definitely.
Panthers around. There's no question
be
about
interesting.
that.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Sean?
I mean, it sounds interesting. Well, like I said, I need to learn a lot about hockey, so
Oh,
I gotta look at the backgrounds of these guys, what their experiences, all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, one thing I can certainly tell you is the GM, Ron Francis, is a Hall of Famer. He's arguably the greatest player ever to play for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Wow.
How about this?
Yeah.
How about if Seattle goes bold and they take Rod Brindamore as their coach?
That's another That's another good coach. That's going to be a tricky situation. Honestly, I would not be surprised if Seattle ended up picking Brind'Amour over the other guys I just mentioned, considering that both Ron Francis and Rob Brind'Amour both played with each other in Carolina in the early 2000s, and that was like 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then that could even lead into another topic, the head coaching search of the Sabres with Kevin Adams and Rod Brind'Amour having that Carolina relationship too. It's like, I mean, do the Sabres give Brind'Amour a look? I know that they want to talk. I know that they're going to talk to Boudreaux. They're going to talk to, of course, with I'm trying to think. I know they're going to give some college coaches a look. Of course, Granato is going to get a look. So
Greg Carville.
Greg Carvel, I've heard his name being brought up. I've also heard Mike Babcock, and I've also heard of John Tortorella. That's another name I've heard being brought up. He's another name that was brought up for Seattle. And one thing that's certain is no matter what the Kraken do, they're going to have to really just boom it out. I mean, literally, you're a fucking expansion team, and you really have to win the populace over. And that's over the Seahawks and the Mariners. And then you have the Seattle Storm, the friggin' WNBA team now. So you have a WNBA team and you have the Seattle Kraken playing at Climate Pledge Arena together. I mean, I know Sean doesn't live anywhere near Seattle. He's on the east coast of the freaking country, but now he's got somebody to watch for next year. So at least thank God to me that I exist, because, you know, without me, I don't think he would give a shit. Let's just be honest.
Hey, Sean, remember one thing for the Kraken. NHL center ice. That's probably one of the few ways you'll get the late night West Coast games.
Oh boy, I think I'm pretty good. I think I'll be good watching the highlights.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure too they're going to get a lot of primetime games too on ESPN or TNT.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas did their first year. I mean, they got a ton of exposure.
Oh, absolutely. What's really ironic too is I have a really interesting story. Is the same thing I'm doing currently for Sean with the Kraken. My groomsman, one of my good friends, my best friend CJ, and he's one of my groomsmen for my wedding in July of 2022. He knew nothing about the sport of hockey. I mean, his family's always been like Flyers fans, but in 2017, I asked him, would you be interested in being a Vegas Golden Knights fan, since they at the time had no players? And he's like, yeah, I'd be totally up for it. And sure enough, the players came in. I got him a jersey the same way I got Sean a friggin' jersey. Yeah, go figure. And I took him to a Islanders Golden Knights game. I took him to the very first Islander Golden Knights game, and I took him to an Islander Golden Knights game before the pandemic in December of 2019. So I was able to convince him at this point that he's a Golden Knights fan. And he's like, yeah, I totally am a Golden Knights fan. And he's not one of those people that doesn't have any thought process. He's a great guy. He has a very good thinking process. But it's just like, with Vegas, they're an expansion team, and he knows basically everything that they do as far as trades and everything like that. He watches them religiously, and he's gonna watch the game in a little bit against Minnesota. So if I can do that with my buddy CJ, Sean would be no different for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, Vegas is a fun team to watch because, I mean, the times I have been able to catch full games with them, I mean, they really did a nice job with how they built that team. And here's the thing, they're more successful than Arizona already with the Coyotes. And the Coyotes were an established team before they moved over to Arizona. But I really like how Vegas really embraced that team. I mean, regardless, you know, how they've performed. I mean, getting to the finals, like game 5, game 6, your first year, I mean, that obviously helps build credibility, but they've been able to really keep it going. And honestly, I'm happy for Vegas on that. I mean, they've got a good following out there.
There is no doubt about Vegas at this point. And that's going to be a future division rival with Sean and the Kraken, the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll tell you, and having been to Vegas a few times myself, I mean, and actually I've lived like 2 summers in Vegas when I was younger. Actually, I ended up spending time out there because my dad and stepmom lived out there for a while. And just having spent time in Vegas, I mean, that is a really cool thing how they've embraced the pro sports teams. And the Raiders actually have a pretty good following out there also. A lot of them formerly from Oakland that have taken the trip out there. So, you know, it's really nice how they've really embraced the sports fans.
Yeah, and on top of that, the city of Las Vegas might get the Athletics pretty soon.
Again, that would be a great thing for them. And I mean, really, Vegas is doing it right. They're really building it up for the teams. I mean, no question about that. And I will say, Vegas does a great job, especially with the Golden Knights. If you look at their pregame, their game intros and everything, it's probably among the best I've seen in the league.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm on my seat for just a minute. I'm just checking something out really quick. There is 1 minute left on the clock in Game 6, and the Islanders are about to advance to the second round, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are on their way out. So, with that being said, let's go Islanders! Let's go Islanders!
Oh, man. Oh, God.
God.
Atlanta's like destroying the New York Knicks now. So,
that's too bad.
Yeah.
But
although, actually, New York kind of came back. I mean, they cut a big lead down to 5. So, I mean, now it's like, now it's like 7 now. But
yeah, so at this point, like I said, there's 25 seconds left in the third in Game 6. The Islanders lead the Penguins 5-3. Pittsburgh is about to blow up the roster. They're not going to be too happy. Urinating Tree is a huge Pets fan. He's going to lose his shit. And if not already,
nice.
So
here we go. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2,
1.
Bye, Pittsburgh.
See you, suckers.
Oh.
You, Sidney Crosby.
Let's go!
Oh, awesome!
Wow.
All right. Actually, you know what? David, I've got the internet TV up right now, so let's take a look at some of the other games. So right now, Tampa is leading Florida 1-0 with 15:50 in the second.
There you go.
But get this, Tampa's not shooting the puck. Florida has only 14. Florida has 14 shots on goal. Tampa only has 9, and this is in the second period.
Yeah, and here's some history for you. This is the Islanders' first win on home ice to clinch a series for the first time since 1993, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so every game since then in like the modern scheme of the Islanders the last few years have all been on the road. So the Islanders for the first time in nearly 30 years have clinched on home ice in a series win. So Pittsburgh, you are out.
Oh man, I love they're showing like the post game now. It's just like how Pittsburgh's heads are down right now. I'm like, oh, you got the walk of shame with the handshakes.
Yep, I'm just happy that the Penguins narrative is finally dead. This to me was probably, I think this year and next year are going to probably be the starting decline for the Penguins at this point. As far as
they haven't really built any depth ever since. I mean, they ended up bringing in Crosby, Malkin. I mean, they always relied on them. I mean, sure, they have some different niche players like Brian Rust, but I mean, they haven't done a whole lot. Phil Kessel didn't stay there. I mean, that was one of the bigger jokes that they had for a while. But I mean, they're at that point. They have to really start building if they're gonna stay a top tier team. They really have to. And I will give the Islanders credit on this. They really built that team well. I mean, they're still building it, but they really went all out on the depth and getting some key players. And losing John Tavares didn't hurt them.
Without a doubt. And speaking of the Islanders, I just found out, and according to NHL.com, the New York Islanders will indeed play the Boston Bruins in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs starting in a few days.
That is going to be a nice series to watch.
You just said it.
Oh, man. If I'm being honest here, I'm going to say Islanders in 7.
It's going to go the distance, I think.
I think so, too. What do you think, Sean?
My bad. I just got distracted from freaking news outside of this, man. What's going on?
The Islanders, and it's according to NHL.com, the Islanders are officially playing the Bruins in round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, starting in a few days.
Wow. I'm gonna assume. I'm gonna assume up to Game 6.
Game 6. Who do you think wins it?
I can't stand Boston teams, but I got to give it to the Bruins.
Ooh.
So you're going with Bruins in 6 over the Islanders?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Andy?
Islanders in 6. 6 or 7.
Islanders in 6 or 7. Tom, what about you?
I'm thinking Islanders in 7. I mean, they've got a great team on all cylinders right now. They've got the depth, and they have youth on their side.
Damn straight. And you know what, too? The Islanders in general have had really good success throughout the regular season in the last 2 years against the Bruins.
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh.
And I gotta say this. I mean, for now with having more games in the barn in its last year, that is really sweet. That's a great way to see that place go out. And I mean, I've been in some older buildings. I mean, we had the Aud here. Being in the barn, that was, I gotta say, the barn was probably the loudest building I've been in besides the Aud.
Oh, absolutely. I love the barn. But the sad thing about all of this is that regardless of what happens for the Islanders going forward, I'm going to miss them at the Coliseum. Yeah. But at least now we know that they're going to be staying permanently on Long Island.
Exactly. And if they can replicate like what the barn is in a lot of ways, I mean, that place is going to be nice. I'll tell you one thing. Barclays was
there's no
for hockey.
No, Barclays is a shithole compared to the Coliseum.
Right. Basketball only that place.
Yep, and I tried to tell you something earlier before the show, Tom, about Latvia, and this was the news I wanted to say. So during the double IHF tournament, it was between Canada and Latvia ended up beating Canada. So the Latvian fans have decided by paying their respects for Team Canada outside of the Canadian embassy following their loss by starting up a funeral procession. But you know how in a funeral when someone dies, whether it's in the army or whatever, and there's like a little stool like made of metal or something like that, and people put flowers down on it? That's what the Latvian fans did for Canada, just to rub it in their face.
Wow.
Usually Canada is a juggernaut in this tournament.
Right.
Yeesh.
Fucking hell.
I'm going to love this matchup coming up next on NBCSN because now it's going to be Vegas versus Minnesota in Minnesota.
Hell yeah, here we go. Another goodie.
Go Knights.
Yep. That is going to be Marc-Andre Fleury, 1.4 goals against in this playoff so far.
Damn straight. I'm telling you right now, the Knights are going to win the series tonight. Yeah, they're going to win the series tonight, I think. Unless Fleury has another slouch first period, then I think Minnesota evens it. But I think in general, if he has a bounce-back game, I think the Knights win the series.
Yeah, I mean...
It's been a good series all around. I mean...
Yeah, for sure.
These playoffs have been amazing.
They really have been.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of overtime games.
Yeah, and they've been really evenly matched. I mean, in a lot of ways, like with what each team is doing against each other. I mean, that's been the fun part. I mean, there really haven't been too many blowouts happening this year.
No, not at all. I don't think. I mean, that's the fun part about playoff hockey. Imagine there was playoff hockey in Seattle next year. Oh, my God.
Wow.
That place would go nuts.
Yeah. Hey, Ursa Terry Pegula, learn how to build a team.
Oh, speaking of building a team, supposedly they're going to be – so I don't know – supposedly the Pegulas are, I mean, you know more about this than I do. Supposedly the Pegulas are sending out a proposal to the counties of like Western New York or something like that. They made a statement the other day about their future in Buffalo. And they said this, quote, representatives from Pegula Sports and Entertainment met earlier today with officials from New York State and Erie County at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. The objective of the meeting was to outline a plan based on the independent study that the Buffalo Bills organization has conducted with regards to the future stadium and arena projects in Western New York. And Scott Zulk, a partner at the law firm Loeb and PSE, Executive Vice President Ron Ruccia, presented today, and I will lead all effects on these projects moving forward. So what exactly does that mean, do you think, Tom?
So here's what's going on. And we talked about this on some shows way back. But basically, the Pegulas hired a company called AECOM to go ahead and do a study on Highmark Stadium and KeyBank Center, and they're looking at either replacing one or both or renovating one or both. What's probably going to happen is that one of the things when COVID came out. Are you farting in the mic, Andy?
Nope.
Are you breathing?
Might have been.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, Anyway, so what was happening is that they were doing a study on what it would cost to upgrade or replace either building, and COVID set it back. So now they had to revise the study going post COVID. One of the big things that's coming out of it, the NFL is wanting Buffalo to get a new stadium. They don't really want to see Highmark Stadium upgraded. Whether or not it gets a massive renovation, who knows? A lot of fans are pissed off about the fact that Highmark Stadium might move downtown because they're talking about loss of tailgating, which, I mean, there's downtown stadiums that have tailgating, so it's not necessarily a loss of tailgating. But when the stadium was built in Orchard Park, there was supposed to be all this development around it. It never happened. And and actually even before that, there was a possible dome stadium that was supposed to be built in Lancaster near the airport. That didn't happen because of all corruption. So what I'm thinking is, from what I've seen in some of the studies before, if Highmark Stadium were to be renovated, it would be in excess of $500 million, which a lot of times 750 is what built US Bank Stadium in Minnesota a few years ago. The study did show that there would have to be some substantial structural upgrades to the stadium. Does it mean that the stadium's falling apart right now? No, it doesn't. But one of the big things that came out of it is that the entire upper deck would have to be completely replaced. They would have to do all new stands, all new seating, all new everything. There would be scoreboard upgrades again, although the scoreboards were just recently upgraded. I want to say back in 2017, I think is when they did that. And apparently the original scoreboard that was from 2007 is still in use at the stadium. They just moved it to the opposite end and they just sliced it in half. So it's basically like a stat board now. So my feeling on it, and this is just my take and what I'm seeing with it and how I think it'll probably happen. I think before long, probably within 10 years, there will be a new stadium downtown. That's what I'm thinking, because the Pagulas do own a lot of land down there. They ended up buying up some land right near the Perry projects and right in that corridor near the KeyBank Center. So I could totally see that happen. As for the KeyBank Center, my guess on what's going to happen is it will see a substantial upgrade. I don't foresee that being a brand new arena, but I definitely do see some possible upgrades happening. One of the things that's in talks is that they'll probably upgrade concessions. They'll do a seating replacement. They'll probably add different types of seating, like loge seating, which is kind of like premium suite seating without having to buy a luxury box. A lot of newer arenas, such as PPG in Pittsburgh, I know Boston's TD Garden, a lot of newer buildings have that. Amalie Arena in Tampa has that ever since they did some massive upgrades there. I can also tell you there will be a new scoreboard. What it looks like, I don't know. If it's the one I designed, hey, that'd be perfect. Hey, Pagula, please fork over some money if you decide to use my design. Thanks. But I do know that would be a big thing that's upgraded, because the scoreboard's over 12 years old right now. That was last upgraded in 2007, and I've been there with our friend Doug Lawson, who's popped on from time to time. And when I was there, it was an embarrassment because the scoreboard blanked out several times. It actually turned black. The bottom ring shorted out. So there's that. Yeah. I mean, I do see an upgrade for KeyBank Center, new stadium for Highmark Stadium. Where it's going to be located, I think it will be downtown, probably near the arena. I don't think it's necessarily going to be on the Outer Harbor, which I would have loved to see it out there. I think it would have made a lot of sense when George Hasiotis' proposal was out there. But time will tell. I mean, and we haven't even seen what the results of the study are yet. I'm just going off of what I've read about it and some of the bits and pieces I've seen about it, just to kind of give you my take on it.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to react to this, because I've heard that there was some talk that the Bills, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to get a new stadium, but they can't keep renovating Highmark Stadium or whatever the stadium is called now. They can't keep doing it, because I know that every arena in every sport has a lease, and I think there's like 4 or 5 years left on the current deal. So
there's only 2 years left, 2023. There's only 2 years
they better
left.
do something. Yeah, well, they better do something about it, because if they don't do anything about it, then they're going to lose a lot of credibility for having to buy the team in the first place, because that's why they ultimately bought the team, because they didn't want to scare the fans with the idea that they had to move the team out of Toronto. I mean, God forbid if Donald Trump or John Bon Jovi, one of these two people, ended up buying the team. Because if you remember during the time of the bidding, Trump said he would keep the team in Buffalo, and Bon Jovi promised, in quotation, to keep them in Buffalo. But there was leaked information that came out that said that he was going to move the team to Toronto. So it's like, well, I would rather have them staying in Buffalo and build a brand new stadium, because I mean, they have to make up for something here, because you can't not abandon the Buffalo Bills, because this is the city's best team as we currently speak.
Right. Yep. And for anyone who hasn't been to the KeyBank Renovation Center page we have, this is actually a design I came up with Ryan Donald from Drive out of Canada. So he's an engineering student who has access to advanced 3D modeling. So two of us came up with that, and we figured, hey, we'll go with something similar to the existing board, but you know what? We're going to make it a hell of a lot bigger. And the way we designed it, it would be the second largest, and actually, it would be the second largest scoreboard in the entire world, besides Chase Center, which is number 1 right now. Prudential Center is number 2. And it would be full 4K high definition with curved boards and underscreen, so you could see it from the first 20 rows. And the funny thing is that the screens underneath the scoreboard would be the same size as what the screens are on the current scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but picture it, man. 50-foot wide screens almost.
Right. Yeah,
That's
damn
crazy.
straight.
Yeah, I think it
What
was
do you
specified like 26 by 48 or something like that. Either way, it's blue line to blue line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, really. Like, I hope that the least that I'm hoping that the Pagulas do is actually have some leniency and actually build the damn stadium, because the Bills will not have a home down the road. It could move if they don't make a plan now. They have to make a plan.
Right. And the big thing now is what the Bills have to do. I mean, yeah, they have to start planning ahead. Start making the plans for a new building. Start getting that taken care of. I think what's going to happen either way is that whatever new stadium comes up, it's probably going to be a retractable dome. I totally see that happening. I know the purists love the cold weather. Hey, I've been to football games at Highmark in the snow. I mean, I've worn like pack boots and like 3 layers and all that stuff. So, I mean, I'm totally fine roughing it. But realistically, when you look at sports economics and how you're going to make a building viable, they're going to probably have to put a retractable dome on there to be able to use it all year round for like different conventions, concerts, shows, all that stuff, in addition to football. I just do not see them going open air this time.
Yeah, because MetLife Stadium got built nearly 10 years ago, and even that place does not have a retractable roof.
Right. And now with like what they're doing, I mean, a lot of times if you have an open air stadium, unless you're in like a place like Florida or out in the West Coast like LA, which even LA built it to where it's got an open. LA's SoFi Stadium, it's got a permanent roof over the field, but it's open on all 4 sides. It's actually not completely enclosed, which is kind of interesting. I didn't even.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So either way, I mean,
what do you think
it's going to happen?
Yeah. What do you think, Sean, about the whole plan going forward?
Yeah, with everything going on in the lease, like it had having about 2 years left on the lease. Yeah, they got to do something, man. And whatever, like definitely whatever it takes to keep the team in Buffalo. And if it means building a new stadium downtown, then do it. Now my thing is, yeah, with the whole tailgating thing, fans, yeah, like fans are gonna be hella mad if there's not like a freaking tailgating spot or something like that, man. I don't know, man. They got to do something. Looking at it now, I wouldn't mind having a stadium downtown, but I like to have it kept open. I have nothing against domes, but open stadiums to me is more traditional for Buffalo.
Yeah, right. I totally agree with that too. I mean, a great way to look at it is Seattle, the newly renamed Lumen Field where the Seahawks play. I mean, yes, they have like a roof canopy that covers like 70% of the seats. So this way it's still open. You still get all the wind, you still get all the rain, everything in there. But it's still something where it covers the fans so you're not getting completely drenched. So it kind of gives you the best of both worlds in that sense.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they could do something like that for Buffalo. Then yeah, I'm all for it.
Great. Yeah, and
Yeah. What about you, Andy?
What's up?
What do you think about the possible idea for a new stadium in Buffalo for the Bills?
I've always said I wanted it down by the water in downtown, like where Furman Boulevard is, right off the water. Water Stadium. There's tons of places or tons of land for parking. Yeah, I thought it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
That's my take.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
But wasn't there a plan a couple of years ago, maybe like 5-6 years ago, where the Pagulas were proposing an idea of making a Bills Island, where the island was in the shape of a buffalo, and then the stadium would be right in front?
Wait, what?
I don't remember.
Never heard of that.
Me neither.
Yeah, apparently a couple of years ago. I don't remember where I saw this, but you could look it up on Google if you want.
I think you were high.
What?
I think you were high at the time.
No, I saw this. This was when the Bills had Rex Ryan as the head coach when I saw this article. And supposedly, when they were proposing a new reconstruction of their contract with Highmark Stadium or Bills Stadium, whatever you want to call it, New Era Field, supposedly the Pagulas wanted to build an island. Like they wanted to purchase a good amount of land where there would be a bridge that goes directly across from where KeyBank Center is, and they would build a little bridge, kind of like a highway almost. I think they were going to call it One Bills Highway, and it would just be a highway where people would go from downtown Buffalo and go straight down one direction, and there would be an entrance and there would be an exit, and it would be just like a big piece of land, basically. And they'd build a brand new stadium right in there, and the head would be like a little bit of like an island where people could tailgate and stuff like that. I don't know. It was a very interesting idea. But to say that you have to have a good amount of land to build that, and specifically in a city like Buffalo, I think is a bit impossible. But it's not impossible to build a stadium by the water. That's what I firmly think they're going to do.
Right. And I'm kind of thinking just with some of the stuff I've seen down there. I mean, I think downtown is probably going to be more realistic with what they're going to do. But at the same time, with them building up land and doing that, I mean, I totally could see it happening. Hey, there's Luffy.
Hey, what's up, Dork?
Hey, fuck nerds.
Hey, you missed it, pal.
Hey, fuck stick.
Hey, you know what? I have other engagements to deal with.
Yeah, fair enough. So what's up, guy? We haven't seen you all night.
Your what hurts?
No, I said, how are you? We haven't seen you tonight.
Oh, I'm all right. You know, just stoned as fuck.
There you go.
What's on the menu for what you're smoking tonight?
Northern Lights honey oil.
I've never heard of that.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, so we're just actually throwing out some ideas about a proposed stadium that the Buffalo Bills could be building a stadium in less than 2 years from now. And they're talking about renovating at Highmark Stadium in downtown, and they might even possibly build a new stadium in downtown Buffalo.
Okay. I didn't hear this, so I don't know. What's the consensus on like where's it going? Like what's the
So here's what would probably happen. If they renovate the existing stadium, which would be over 500 million, and keep it in Orchard Park, of course that would be there. New sites they've looked at is possibly building a new stadium next door to the existing Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. There's also talk about possibly moving the football stadium downtown near the KeyBank Center, so it'd be right in that corridor. Then there was also potential talk about moving it towards like Lackawanna, which is about 5 miles from downtown. So there is possible talk about that. And then a couple of people were even proposing more around the Niagara Falls area or further east towards Rochester. But it looks like downtown will probably get the nod because Pagula has been buying up a ton of land down
You
Yeah.
know, how out of date is the stadium that they're in?
I think it's 1970 is when the stadium opened.
It's over 50 years old. It was originally called Rich Stadium, then they changed it to Ralph Wilson, and then it changed to New Era, and then now it's called Highmark Stadium. So the problem with the contract they currently have is they have to keep renewing it to keep the team in Buffalo until they have a proposal for a new stadium. But it's obsolete, it's old, it's like an old insane asylum that nobody goes to anymore. And I'm not saying that they don't use it. They have to at some point move out because they need a new stadium. It's becoming obsolete. They can't keep renovating the stadium they currently in.
Yeah.
So they have to make up a different idea. And I was just bringing up this story not too long ago. And I brought up a story that I saw a few years ago. And I'm trying to find the article as we speak. And supposedly there was a proposal where there was going to be a plan by the Pagulas where they were going to buy a piece of land and tweak it up a bit, of course, into a shape of a buffalo and call it Bill's Island. And they were going to put the island with the stadium and then have a little bit of an area where people could tailgate and stuff like that. Kind of like this big utopia in downtown Buffalo, right across the street from Key Bank Center and stuff like that. It would be straight down one direction on this little highway they'd be built. It's very interesting.
That's a little bit extreme.
Yeah, no shit. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, so actually, Highmark Stadium opened in 1973. That's the actual opening date. August 17th.
14 years before I was born. That was 14 years before I was born.
Yeah, that was, let's see, I was born in 82, so I mean, that was like 9 years before me.
I wasn't even a thought in 1970.
Bobby is still on his dad's testicle.
Right.
I was a tadpole living in my dad's balls in 1970.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean,
Hey, and 1973.
Yeah, I wasn't even a thought by
Hey,
that point.
no, Andy, where were you in 1973?
I was nothing.
okay.
You were in the ball sack still?
I don't even think I was there yet.
Oh, okay.
So,
I don't think until about 1980.
yeah.
Mm.
Either way, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of the stadium talk because I mean, the lease comes up in a couple years, and I mean they just did a renovation back in 2017, but it was only specific things that they touched for 130 million, and they didn't even address some of the other issues that they needed to, such as replacing the upper deck completely and things like that. So I mean, it's one of those where the estimate right now. Yeah.
If you're talking about investing in the fucking stadium that's been there since 1973, another 500 million. No, that's just dumb.
Yeah, the actual
Move on.
right. Yes, the actual estimate from what I saw in the earlier study was pegged at like between 500 to 700 million to upgrade the current stadium. And then US Bank Stadium that the Vikings built cost 750 million.
Exactly. So you might as well just build your own.
Just build a new stadium.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Highmark Stadium is owned by the county, not by the team.
Yeah, it is owned by the county. So just like KeyBank Center is owned by the county.
Yeah, that's why the Islanders are moving out of the Coliseum is because their lease is up and they have nowhere else to go, except now they're moving down to Belmont Stadium or UBS Arena, whatever you want to call it. And that's not even owned by the county or the town at this point in Long Island, where I'm at. Because Belmont Stadium in general is in Nassau County, but Nassau County does not own the stadium anymore. Then they won't even get the rights. It's now owned by the Islanders, and the Islanders can do whatever the hell they want.
That's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to ask too, because I just realized the Islanders beat the Penguins.
Yep.
And they're playing the Bruins in the second round.
I don't know. Did I pick the fucking Islanders to win?
Yeah, I think I said Islanders in 7.
I don't know if I picked the Islanders. I can't remember.
We can look back on the episode. I'm sure it's on YouTube. We can look it over. But I'm pretty sure you said the Penguins, but we can always look it over. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it's not a big deal. But yeah, so that's pretty much it as far as topics are going. You know, I think we pretty much covered everything at this point. I know Adam just got here, but it's like, fuck. I mean, we pretty much covered everything.
Oh, the fan favorite just comes in and everybody wants to shut her down, eh?
Unless you want a recap of what we were talking about tonight, we could do that too.
Well,
I hope the Canadians win tomorrow.
Oh, get fucked, bud. Canadians are going out.
What
Yeah,
did they
at
say
this
right
point-
now? 3-1 or something?
I just got to stay true to my my prediction. That's all.
I think they don't have any legs to stand on that, but they're pretty much done.
Yeah, I don't think Montreal gets past.
No, you could tell in the third period. You could tell in that third period last night, the Montreal Canadiens are just like, you know what? We might as well just give it to them.
Can we just take a little bit of a moment of silence for the Edmonton Oilers of how fucking embarrassing it was for them to be there?
I said at the start, I don't know if I
Wow.
picked them. I picked them for the first round.
I know.
But
I
I-
definitely didn't pick them.
I mean,
I
knew,
picked them for the first round just because I thought they'd get past Winnipeg because Winnipeg's been like, you know, in that slump or whatever. But
Right.
it just goes to show that two players can't do it for you.
like, I mean, I knew the Oilers were going to get out of the playoffs. I knew they were going to get eliminated, like in the second or third round. But holy fuck, I didn't expect them to get swept.
Dude,
Yeah,
they
that was a
don't-
total shocker.
Look what they have. They have one firing line that puts up points for them. One. They
Right.
have an old fucking goalie. They have a defense that's questionable, and they have one line.
Yep, and then on top of that, there was a rumor this past week that Connor McDavid may want out and might demand a trade.
No, he's staying, but he's not going nowhere.
No, I agree with you. I don't
First,
think
it'd
he's
be
going
way too
anywhere.
high to get
I
rid of.
I do think the Oilers will blow up the management. I do think Ken Holland will stay where he is, but I think they're going to fire Dave Tippett because Dave Tippett sucks as a head coach. I don't understand why the Oilers have him
Well,
anyway.
he doesn't utilize his players correctly. That's one of the biggest problems. I mean, that's what Dan Bielsma did with the Sabres. That's what Phil Housley did. That's what we saw.
He doesn't experiment. He doesn't experiment with his lines. That's the problem. It's if you watch Ducharme or what his name was on the Habs, he was trying to like experiment with his lines with the Leafs, but it's not going to work when your fucking puck possession is in the Leafs' favor by 30% over what yours is,
Oh yeah,
and you're in your own zone for like a period. You're not gonna experiment lines at that point because it's pointless.
right. Well, yeah, the Leafs were actually dominating in the zone.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
the puck
It wasn't
possession-
even close.
I watched the Oilers. They were interchanging the top two lines, but they mostly try to keep it with Leon and Connor the last two games to really generate, and which they did. They ended up scoring some goals, but they just blew it the last two games. They just lost the lead and let them come back. And
Dude, what
there
the
you
thing
have
was
it.
the last game that went into like 3 overtimes or whatever the fuck it was, like you could tell. No, McDavid's like a high endurance fucking player,
Right.
but a second OT, you could tell after all the minutes he fucking played, and Draisaitl the same thing. Darnell Nurse, those fucking players were done, man. They played so many minutes that game that the third and fourth lines were so fucking fresh that he could have literally put them on the ice for 2-3 shifts. A fucking period would have helped them.
Right. I mean, and it doesn't
I mean,
help with Edmonton. All they have is like Jesus, Nurse, and Draisaitl. All you've got.
That's it. Old fucking goalie.
Yeah, basically. Edmonton is a shit show at this point. Like, I do not see anything going forward with them. Edmonton with McDavid, like, I go with Buffalo. I do not think McDavid's going to win anything at this point. I mean, he's too good to be on that team at any point in time. Put him on a real team like Toronto, and I guarantee you that the Leafs would go far with Connor McDavid. And I know Adam's going to say,
my
we don't
God.
need McDavid. We have Austin Matthews. But still, I mean, would you not want Connor McDavid on your team?
The fuck I would say that. Get fucked. I'd love to have McDavid.
Exactly.
Any fucking
Oh, Jesus.
guy.
I bet Adam's picturing. Yeah, Adam's probably picturing McJesus and Matthews together along with Tavares. I mean, holy.
God, on a power play? You imagine
Jeez,
Marner?
this is not the NBA. We're not building super mega teams here.
Oh, we are
my
now.
God.
Let's go into that as a sidebar topic.
Fuck
The super
that.
team.
That is
Can
no
you just
fun.
imagine- Dude, can you just imagine first power play unit of McDavid, Matthews, and Marner.
I wouldn't watch
Holy
hockey.
crap.
I wouldn't watch hockey.
It would be pointless. No team would touch them.
Right.
Completely unfair.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't watch.
Or even if you threw Eichel in there, in a sense.
Oh wait! I got a thing for you. Fucking Matthews, McDavid, Marner, Eichel, Leon Draisaitl, and
This isn't the fucking All-Star game.
hockey.
The All-Star game.
You want to throw oh god. You want to throw Geno Malkin in there for laughs?
I put Crosby in on the third power play unit.
Oh man.
Oh, that's funny.
NHL super teams. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, that'd be that.
Get fucked.
Hey, that would be if the NHL allowed the luxury tax on Major League Baseball.
You guys better be happy. You better be happy that there's actually a salary cap, because if there was a chance that the Leafs could spend all their money, we would have a super team.
Oh yeah,
I think anybody would.
right. Well, it's like
No,
baseball.
but
I mean,
guarantee it. Two teams in the league that have super teams would be the richest teams in the fucking NHL. To be New York Rangers,
and the
Montreal Canadiens, and
Yep.
And they can all get fucked.
Well, be like baseball, man. They wouldn't mind paying the 18% luxury tax or whatever it is. I mean, Boston does it every year. The Yankees do it every year. The Astros are doing it, and I think the Dodgers are even doing it.
Yeah. I looked at some baseball lineups a couple of days ago, and I'm like, I didn't know a lot of these players on a lot of these teams. I was like, there's like a whole new era of players.
Right.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. Trevor Hauer, if you are watching, and I know you probably are, and you told us you're at that Houston Asterisk game against LA in Houston.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, and Adam, I also forgot to mention earlier on the show, almost 45 minutes ago, I told Sean a really big surprise, and no, I did not ask him to marry me. So don't even ask. Tell him, Sean. What did I tell you earlier tonight?
Okay, so
Take
how
your
do I
time.
say this?
Take your time.
All right. So in Bob's attempts to get me even more hyped for the Seattle Kraken, after he bought me the shirt, this hat, on top of that now, he bought me a freaking jersey.
Quite the guy.
Yeah. Definitely.
But my personal opinion, fuck the Kraken. But yeah, go Kraken.
Oh. And by the way, here's a recap. LA and Houston are tied at 1 at the bottom of the 6th.
I'm straight.
Oh boy.
We all know their play calling.
Yeah, I'm straight. So
I'll say
yeah,
this,
I did
though.
something nice for once.
Yeah, I will say this though: Vegas and Minnesota is not bad right now because they're 240 left in the first. I mean, it's been very very evenly matched. I mean, 6-5 in shots. So I mean, but Vegas is playing Minnesota hard. I love it.
Vegas up.
They should have wrapped up the series on Monday, but Florida had a really bad first period, so that's why they're now in that situation.
Yeah, but they're like it's 3-2. That's the series, right now.
Yeah, it's 3-2 nights in the series, and if they win, they go on to round 2 to play Colorado. And the Islanders are confirmed to play Boston, which I'm very excited about because the Islanders traditionally have a really nice regular season against the Bruins. Playoffs, I think playoffs are a very different animal, but the Islanders are gonna definitely give the Bruins a run for their money. That's what I think.
The Bruins are a whole different animal, but
Have you seen the Islanders in the last couple of years?
well, I'm just saying the Bruins are a whole different animal, but
Yeah, but the
They're a-
Islanders are younger, and the Bruins are experienced. Yes, there's no doubt about it. But the Islanders are much younger. They're faster than Boston. Boston's got the talent, and they got the players to put the puck in the net. But the Islanders have a lot of speed. They have a lot of talent on defense. So for me,
Talk to the Leafs the last few years, bud.
Yeah, but where have the Leafs have gone? You have all that talent.
We played Boston. We've had talent. We've had scoring. We've had this and we've had that. Where did that get us?
Well, you just suck against the Bruins. How about that?
No, everything you named out is what the Leafs have.
Yeah, but the Leafs haven't done anything with that core yet, have they?
No, they have the Islanders.
Well, the
Well,
Islanders went to
welcome.
the friggin' conference finals last year, so that's definitely more than what the Toronto Maple Leafs have done in the last 10 years.
I think the Bruins will put them out in 5.
We'll see. I don't know about that. I think it's going to go Islanders in 7, but we'll see. The Islanders are not the same team that they've been in the last few years.
No, I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying I don't think they're prepared for the Bruins.
Because if they could beat a really good Philadelphia Flyers team and a really good Washington Capitals team and the top-seeded Penguins that subsequently won the division, then I think there's a pretty good chance that the Islanders could beat the Bruins.
Possibly.
Like, I'm not going to even challenge you on this because it's not going to go anywhere. But I just know, just from having to watch the Islanders for pretty much the last few years with Barry Trotz, they're a completely different animal under his system.
I'll say this. I might sound overconfident, but if the Leafs beat the Habs, I feel like they'll walk over the Jets like nothing.
I think so. I think it's going to be Islanders Leafs in the conference finals.
That would be an interesting.
I really think they can walk over the Jets like they're not even there.
I don't know, man. We'll see. I mean, the playoffs are looking very promising right now as we currently speak. I mean, it's anybody's guess of what's going to happen going forward. So there is no legitimate winner yet as to what could happen going forward. And that's what playoffs are all about. I mean, listen, did you expect Sean to say, hey, I'm expecting a Seattle Kraken jersey? No, it's called a surprise. So again, anything about playoff hockey or in any sport in particular is all but nothing but competition. And for me, I think the Islanders are going to be up in the competition for the cup at this point. If they can get past Boston, I think there's a pretty good chance they can win the cup this year, or better yet, get to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, as it comes to the Kraken, you can have Travis Dermott. I'll give it to you for free.
Wait, what?
I said the Kraken can have Travis Dermott.
I thought you liked Travis Dermott.
No. Fuck no.
Okay. We'll find out in less than 2 months of who they take in the expansion draft. And yes, we are going to have an expansion draft special, and Sean will be there.
Sweet. Oh, and Sean's in his happy spot right now because the Knicks actually came back from being down, and now it's the end of 3. The Knicks are actually up 76-75 on Atlanta. So now
Come on,
like,
Knicks,
all
give me a
right,
reason.
12 minutes.
Give me a reason to watch basketball again.
Hey, the Knicks finally don't suck after 10 years.
For real.
What?
Yeah.
What? They don't suck?
Yeah, the Knicks finally don't suck after 10 years of not making the playoffs. They're actually in the playoffs this year. Change.
That's a really big surprise.
Yeah, well, they totally retooled that entire team, though.
Yeah, so I think that's about it as far as content is concerned. So is there anything you guys want to say before we wrap up the show?
Go Leafs, go.
Yep. I'm going to say go Isles.
It's gonna be a fun
Knicks.
series.
Well, you can't say go. You can't say go Buffalo. So I guess you have no choice.
Let's go.
In this case, I'll go.
I don't think he gives a shit. But
I'll root for a West Coast team. I'll say go Vegas.
okay.
And we'll see how.
All right. I think that's about it.
All right. Awesome. Hey, Eddie, you managed to stay awake the entire show.
Oh
I
my
know.
god. Oh my god, it's a miracle.
Barely making it here.
All right.
Pick up, Joel.
Oh, well, on that note, we'll see you next week, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other.
Happy Memorial Day, guys.
Yeah.
God bless the
Deuces.
USA.
Yes, don't forget those who serve, man. Don't forget
Yes.
those.
No.
All right.
God bless the USA.